super sport, wet paint, big feet. I pull up and kill shit, 6 feet.
Alright, 6 feet going deep. It's Torius with
Brawley. Brawley's conscious.
Brawley's conscious?
Yeah.
That's like what you go by, like your full name, or you just go by Brawley?
Yeah, I just go by Brawley. Mononymously known. You know, like Obama or Drake or Madonna. Just one name. When a name like Brawley, you don't really need last name.
You know what I think of when I think of your name?
Dragon Ball Z. I know.
Right.
Hey, and guess what? Look at my socks.
Yo,
Who that is right there?
Real quick for the camera. You got the Brawley socks?
And I got on white ones.
Hey, so what do you say? Do you say Brawley or Broly?
Nah, I say Brawley.
Brawley?
Yeah.
Because I would always say Broly. Like for the
yeah,
character.
But sometimes, because I peep that, sometimes they'll say Brawley, but then sometimes they'll, I guess depending on the character, they'll say like my name, Brawley. So.
Did people ever call you that, like growing up?
Yeah, in middle school, man. Before, like Dragon Ball Z made my name cool. Before Dragon Ball Z like got popular here, everybody was like broccoli, quack 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 quack, Brawley like broccoli, ha 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 ha. It was, oh my god, I hated my name.
Broccoli.
I hated my name because everybody used to say broccoli. And then about 6th or 7th grade, Dragon Ball Z became popular, made it the coolest name ever. Like around middle school, that's the transition. Yo, Dragon Ball Z saved my life, low key. Like, yo, for real, it changed like my perception on things and my environment. Because now I'm not a kid that's upset and like, because people making fun of my name. Now everybody's like, Brawley like Dragon Ball Z. Oh my god, that's awesome! And it really like made my day. I was like, wow, I like my name now. And then I grew to like really love my name.
Now, people still like say the same thing now, or
nah, nobody really says broccoli. Probably heard that like once or twice in the last like 10 years.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're probably like a little kid that doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. Doesn't know.
So what kind of kid were you like growing up? You sound like were you like really like shy or like?
Yeah, I was shy. I was definitely shy. Like we moved a lot growing up, so I went to like 6 different elementary schools.
Sure.
Yeah, like I never finished a whole year at a school. Like we always moved. So I think that caused me to grow up shy and not really talk to people, not really get close to people because I figured I'm gonna move. Mm-hmm. And it kind of put me in the zone now where for me it's easy for me to disconnect from people. Like maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, I don't know. But now I don't get attached to people. It's easier for me to just, whether you're a friend or a family member, it don't even matter. I can detach myself because I just move so much.
So what do you mean by like disconnect? Like burn bridges or
I want to
like cut people off?
Yeah, just like distance myself from people. I want to say I don't know if I would say burn bridges, but like if we don't text again, then we don't text again. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna be bothering nobody. Like it's easy for me to hit you up a few times and kind of sense the vibe, and no matter how cool or close we were, if I have to pull back and never hit you up again, then I could do that.
Well, you're in the music industry, so have you felt like you had to do that like a lot of times?
In a sense, I've been learning. I've been like learning how people move, and just learning the industry. And I see like, sometimes I find myself, I see their intentions where they're at, and then I pull back, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to like connect with that person or build with that person because they're not on the same wavelength as I am.
Yeah. So all right. So how would you explain what you do exactly? Because you're part of an organization, right?
Yeah. So I would describe what I do as a movement beyond just a charity organization, because it started with the charity organization Above 500 Inc. It's a 501c3, and it started with us going to schools and doing pep rallies at schools, and we call them dream rallies. And I'll bring like football players, artists, entertainers, attorneys, professionals to talk to the kids, tell them their story, what they went through, stories of perseverance, because that's basically the theme of the organization is perseverance. Are you a sports fan?
I know athletes and stuff. I don't want sports like that.
Okay, so do you know like your winning percentage?
No.
So like in every sport, every major sport, they keep track of your record, and your record determines you go to the playoffs or not. Your winning percentage is determined by how many losses and wins you have. So if you have more wins than losses, then you're above 500. So that's a popular term that they use. Like you hear announcers
okay.
say, "Oh, the Knicks just won 3 in a row. They're finally at 500." That means they have the same amount of wins and losses. They're 50%.
Yeah.
Or they have more wins and losses. They're above 500. So the theme centers around us taking losses and learning how to deal with failure and then persevering, continue to grow, continue to move forward. Like, it don't matter how many losses you have, you can still be a champion if you don't give up and you just keep pushing.
When did you guys start?
9 years ago. To be exact, we officially kicked off and was incorporated in 2013, March 2013. Yeah, so that's when we started.
All right, so tell me about the transition from like how you were back then and how it's like what is different now since like you first started, like how like you had built that momentum.
Well, when I first started, it was mostly just a charity, and we were doing pep rallies, and then during the summer, we'll organize like softball games, and I used to do the celebrity softball games with the Dolphins, but it always rained, so it was a waste because it'll rain out, and then it'll hurt the audience, like the ticket sales, and it'll hurt sponsors and just the event in total. So I stopped doing that. But honestly, I learned a lot. My state now is different because now I get to work with who I want to work with. You know, and back then, when you're first starting, you're just trying to get in the game, and you're kind of like trying to like almost work with whoever, you know, in a sense, you're trying to work with who wants to work. But now it's like once I learned how people move, and everything has to do with intention and where your heart at, and I just don't want to align myself. It just makes it easier when I do align myself with people on the same goal and same mission as me. You know, it's harder if I just work with other people that don't have the same vision that I have, because they're not going to understand it, they're not going to see it, and it just makes things more difficult.
So what is your vision? Like, where do you see everything going? I'm
on a positive tip. Like, everything I'm doing has to improve the community or improve life. It just has to be positive. I basically break things down into just positive or negative. That's like I literally categorize everything in those two, positive or negative. So if you're interested in bettering the community, bettering the people around you, creating a better life, then we're on the same wavelength. If you're interested in just your own selfish needs, you want to make money for your own selfish reasons or do whatever, that's cool, that's your business, but we're not on the same wavelength. I'm interested in people who want to build and help the community and help others, and that's it.
So, all right, so when it would rain on those Dolphin events, what made you like, did you ever want to like quit and like stop doing it? Like, you say like, oh, this is a waste, I'm gonna, this is the last time.
I wanted to quit doing the softball games, but never wanted to quit doing events or doing what I'm doing, because I love it, and I don't really know too many better feeling than having a vision, a goal, and setting it and then accomplishing it. Like, that's a great feeling to be like, you know what, I want to do a celebrity basketball game with this person, and then you actually go and do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like an amazing feeling to me. It's like a high.
Yeah. So, all right, so tell me, let's talk about that event, because it was, I mean, did it go how you thought it was going to go, like how you wanted it to be?
Untitled Chapter, ignite the culture. It was good for the hood. The hood loved it.
Good for the hood?
Yeah, the hood loved it. Everybody was hitting me up after saying they want to work again, they want to do it again, they want to be part of the next one. The hood was like, yo, this is like, you know, it brought me memories in the park. Like, it was good vibes. Nobody fought, right? Nobody got into no arguments.
Did you think someone was going to fight? Like, there was going to be a fight?
I'll always be worried about, like, yo, somebody may just take things a certain way, or I don't know. I'll be thinking that sometimes, because there was a fight before.
On one of your events?
Yeah, in Orlando, yeah. And that hurts the sponsors, it hurts a lot of things. So it'd be crossing my mind. I'm like, I know we got security and stuff like that. It's just something you don't want to deal with, you know?
I feel like anything that has to do with hip-hop, like sometimes clubs, they don't want like hip-hop events because, you know.
Yo, and that was what my mentor was telling me about, aligning yourself with certain brands and certain rappers that corporations are scared to touch because they're bringing a lot of violence around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, and a lot of these rappers, there's some fake rappers. So some of these are real ones, though. They're really in the streets for real, and they really got real beef, and real people are dying, and real people getting locked up. So whenever you're bringing those people together, you got to be extra cautious of what could possibly happen. At least be prepared for anything that might happen. So.
Did you choose Untitled Chapter as the The main event.
Yeah.
Because of his positivity.
Yeah, because of his willingness to show how he wants to grow in his music, and it takes a lot of courage. I don't know if you got to see it, but I gave him a big award, Enlightenment Award, a Nobility Award for just for demonstrating courage and growth and not being afraid to be different, right? You know, so that's something I admire about Chopper, which is why I chose him as the headliner, is that he's willing to show. He's only 18, and yo, he's way more advanced than when I was at 18. Like, all the stuff that he's talking about now, I didn't learn that stuff until I was like in my 20s, in my mid 20s. Yeah. You know, so
I feel like me and him had like a similar experience because he was saying a lot of stuff. Because I used to be on like a very negative way. I used to like think very negatively, like think the worst situations of like anything, you know.
Same.
But then like listening to what he said, like what he speaks, it's like, because I had the same shift, you know. And I'm thinking like, wow, he's like on the same exact like frequency as like I am right now.
Yeah, and that's why I chose him. And then I wanted to kind of, he was already on that tip when it comes to like even putting meditation in his raps and talking about certain things that other rappers not really talking about. So, you know, I wanted to bring him on board with that, because our missions aligned. And then I don't know if you saw the food that we had. The food were gone. All the food, we had about seven or eight vendors there, sponsors that came out with food, and all the food was gone by halftime.
I think it was Voodoo House, right?
Vegan Voodoo, world famous House of Mac, Sunny Speaks, Pretty Healthy, Asai Eats, Vegetarian Delight. They were all there, and they all like sold out all their food. Yeah. You know, and they were all plant based. Everything, there was no meat, no fish served.
Are you plant based?
Yeah.
When was the last time you ate meat?
7 years ago.
For real?
Yeah, I'm the real deal, not the new ones. I've been before it was a wave. I was on that.
You gotta teach me, bro, because it's so hard.
At first, because you don't know what to eat, but once you get the hang of it, like, you can eat anywhere. I can go to any restaurant and I'll get my meal.
Even McDonald's?
Even McDonald's, I can get whatever. They got the oatmeals there, you know, so I could just turn whatever they have into my own little sandwich or whatever.
So do you have like an overall, so when it comes to like your goals, do you have an overall vision of, when you plan them out, do you have an overall vision of yourself, or just you just focus on your goals and not just like you encompassing your goals? You know what I'm saying?
No. The vision is bigger than me. It's always bigger than me.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, it's always been bigger than me. And sometimes I got to put that in my mind that it ain't even really about me, because sometimes I have to do stuff that I don't want to do, but I have to do it because it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
all right, so what would be an example of that?
Like the music and getting in the music industry. I don't really care for the music industry. I don't care about the club scene. I don't care about the parties, the after parties. I don't care about none of that. When I first moved to Miami, maybe I was like, I was young and I was into it, but after a while, you don't care about none of that. It's the same thing, even getting in the music industry. But I feel like the music industry is so like watered down and like lost in a sense, and I just don't want to sit there and just watch and not do nothing about it. So I figure like I had to kind of get in the music industry, which is why I started getting artists together like Keith Wallace and D1 and A-Star, and even myself getting into the writing and putting projects together for the people, you know.
So do you feel like hip hop, whatever, really, like, do you feel like they accept that positivity and the positive message in their music? Like, you feel like that'll ever be mainstream?
I don't know if it'll be mainstream, because who controls the mainstream? You know, people who control mainstream don't want to see black people talking about empowering each other. That's not their goal. It's not in their agenda. But we can still see it there. Like, the power is still in the people. So if the people were to support it, get behind it, then they can still bring it out to the forefront. Because we have people like J. Cole who succeeded, and Common, and a lot of people that succeeded. But when you look at the numbers, right? If you're talking about numbers, and numbers don't lie in a sense, right? So who sold the most records like last year, or like you gotta peep that J. Cole is somebody who be talking about real stuff, and he's outselling all these other rappers that are on the radio 24/7. And J. Cole would drop something with no features and no singles, and literally just drop it and outsell all these other rappers. So it's like, I hear the people saying, "Oh, that's not what they want to hear." But then, why is J. Cole selling more than Migos? Why is J. Cole selling more than all these other rappers? So people do want to hear the real stuff. It's just somebody lying to us. That's how I feel. That's how I look at it.
So, all right. So, what do you think it is? All right. So, if J. Cole is able to sell more than like most artists, right? And how come he's, like, that's like one lane of like positivity and, like more serious topics, and like all the other rappers who rap about all this other stuff that's more negative. You
right. And then, but look at Kendrick too, right? Kendrick is in the same lane. He'll drop something. He'll go all over the place. But the reason why I feel it's like that is because these rappers they're young, and they just want the money. So the labels they're paying you to rap about killing each other. Here, go. We need more. We need a spike in Percocet sales. Here, go rap about. Give me about 5 bars about Percocets. You know what I'm saying? Or the prison is down, or they got to advertise their nonsense. So the labels are gonna pay these young black kids who just want to make bread, and they're gonna pay them to talk about killing each other. And so that's why they're doing it. That's why there's 30 more rappers rapping about killing each other, and the same thing over somebody who's rapping about empowering us. The labels are not gonna pay the empowering people. Those are the rare ones. They're gonna give money and offer deals to the ones rapping that the foolishness. It's a conspiracy, maybe. I don't know.
It's Illuminati.
Right. In a sense.
So what motivates you to help the community?
Man, I think me going through everything that I went through when it comes to trying to figure out who I was, and then like you see me, I'm like, to some people I'm more black than white, to some I'm more white than black. I'm Dominican. I don't even.
For real?
Yeah, I don't even be into.
Oh, I didn't think you were Dominican.
Yeah, I'm just Dominican. Like, that's it. But that, and then growing up with mostly minorities, and like you lose your sense of identity. Like, I don't know who I was in a sense. And then when you don't know who you are, it's easy to get lost in the streets or into any other foolishness. So just not wanting other people to experience that stuff and not get lost, I figured, that's kind of like my motivation. I don't want people to experience some of the stuff I experienced, in a sense.
So did you grow up around people like you, like that looked like you? And also, did you have people that you looked up to that looked like you, and what were they doing?
Man, I was always around black people. So, but there's a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans where I grew up. I'm originally from the Bronx. It's full of Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. I
always say that's where like every Dominican comes from.
Yeah, originally from the Bronx, and then I moved to Orlando, South Orlando, where there's nothing but Puerto Ricans down there. So it was always around just black and Spanish people where I grew up, basically. And just growing up like that, you watch TV and listen to the radio and you see other people that look like you. You're like, this is how they live, and this is how they're dressing, this is how they're behaving. So we kind of just want to fit in, and we copy that. Like, I remember being in high school wearing freaking 5XL t-shirts. You remember when everybody had the long, tall tees?
Like with Soulja Boy days?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just us copying, mimicking the culture. Yeah. But that's not really who I was. It looked like a nightgown. We look silly, but we over here just trying to fit in a sense.
Isn't it funny how, like, right after that, it was just everything was like the Jerk Boys, like new, like tight.
They went from super big to super tight.
Yeah, it's like a balloon, like just inflated, and it's like.
Right. This is following trends and culture, and I like to show people, even my son, like, that it's okay to be different, to be a leader, and you don't have to follow trends.
So are you into like clothes and fashion? Like, do you keep up with that stuff, or do you just keep it like minimal? And just...
Nah, I keep it minimal. I'm more like a minimalist. Like, and that's sometimes an issue because people will judge you by what you wear and how you look, and sometimes, right, especially down here, because this is like a more superficial, materialistic environment down here in Miami. So people are more like, they'll judge you and they'll respect you differently depending on if I come out the Civic or if I come out the Aston Martin. They're gonna look at me two different ways. They're gonna treat me two different ways.
You ever see those prank videos where it's like the guy is like he's like talking to the girl, and then she's like not giving him time to date.
Yeah.
And he just like pulls
And
up
he,
like
if he gets in the Lambo or something, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just
But
like, wait.
But you know, sadly, that's how it works with corporations and foundations and business too. If you're looking for a sponsorship, if you're looking for donations, they're gonna give it to the one that looks like they already have money. If you look like you already have money, you're wearing all these designer, you know, white people brands, no disrespect, you know, then they're gonna look at you like, yo, they want to give you money. But if you look like you're in the hood still or you're struggling, they're not gonna give you money. Like, it's weird. Even if you're a foundation and you're a charity, they're not gonna give you money. It's just weird.
I always say it's like how Jeff Bezos, he's like the richest guy in the world, and it's like everyone's still buying Amazon, but then the homeless person who needs the money, like they're not gonna live
Like,
his way.
Yeah. Now people will donate to Jeff Bezos. He's a billionaire, almost a trillionaire, and they would donate to him before they donate to a homeless man.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, but hey, I'm learning that that's how it is, and sometimes you play the game, you know. And it's so funny because today I was like, yo, I'm gonna get rid of this Gucci belt. I don't even have it on today. I was like, and I don't want to wear this Gucci belt no more. Like, I literally today I was thinking that it was in my closet, and I was like, yo, I want to get rid of it because I got rid of my Gucci watch, and I was like, I want to get rid of this Gucci belt because I want to be representing these brands that they don't really care about us, for one, and then two, like,
they don't want us like wearing their clothes.
They're basically, they kind of like, you know, make fun of us in a sense.
But I feel like it's a law of attraction, you know, like you get what you are. Like if you have a lot of money, then I feel like you just attract more money. I feel like if you have less money, then you attract less, like, circumstances that bring you less money.
That's true. It's what you're focusing on and your thoughts and all of that, for sure. You know.
So are you into like that whole like metaphysical stuff, like?
Yeah.
Like your thoughts that create.
Oh yeah, all of that quantum physics.
So what's like
the quantum realm?
What's your perspective on that? Like, how, like, what do you feel like, the rules of like the reality are? I guess. Of, like,
well, I always consider myself as a master manifester because I literally manifest my thoughts, and sometimes my thoughts sound crazy to some people, or it sounds like unachievable, out of this world, but to me, like, I make them come true. So it's like, I get you. That's your side, and maybe that's why you're limited to what you're limited to, because your thoughts, you're limiting your thoughts. I don't limit my thoughts, and I think big. So even if I don't hit the, you know, all the way up here, I aimed up here, so I still hit like around here. Yeah. You know, so, but I literally manifest thoughts, like even the whole Untitled Chapter celebrity basketball game. It was a thought that I had, and it was like 40 days. We put the event together in like 40 days, and I raised like almost $50,000 of sponsorship if I'm including the catering and all the stuff that people would have. Oh, yeah, I spent like $30,000 in a month. I spent like $30,000 almost on like funds, like real money. But then if you add all the food and all the stuff that was sponsored to us that other people spent, it's probably about $50,000 to put the whole thing together.
You have to pay the artist to show up?
No, I never pay the artists to show up because it's a charity event. What I do for them, which all the artists should be getting soon, is a tax letter, a tax exempt letter with their hours written off. So if so and so gets booked $2,500 for an appearance, I'm sending him a letter for $2,500 so he can claim off his taxes. You know, and a lot of these artists, they should do that more. They should be on top of that, because how many rappers do you see in the news 2-3 years later they got a problem with the IRS and taxes? Every single one of them.
Pretty much.
Because they don't know how to utilize what they got. They don't know how to utilize this section, the 501c3. Come to Above 500, man. We finna put you on game.
Yeah, that's why I always feel it's most important. That's why I started doing the interviews and everything too, because everyone sees artists as just like, oh, I'm like in the studio rapping and making music, but they don't see like the stuff on the back end.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of people don't even know how to make money with their music.
Exactly. Yeah, that's facts. And they don't know how to utilize certain things when they get there, when they get to that level.
So when you were at that level, right, where you're like, you just have the thought, but you have no idea how it was gonna come into fruition. Like how did you figure out what you were gonna do to get to where you wanted to go? Or like an example.
No, you find it. You find the solution. You find like. Right now, our answers are on our phone. Everything is on Google. Literally everything. If you really wanted to do something, there's literally no excuse for you not to do it. You can literally Google How can I find sponsorship? How can I put together a charity basketball game? And there's all the instructions right there. So if I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna look it up online and just find it. Or one thing that's really underrated that people don't do is reach out to people, send emails out, see somebody who already did an event like that, reach out to them, send them an email. I did that before. I hit up JJ Watt's mother, Connie Watts. Shout out to Connie Watts if you're watching this. Hey, she put me on game because I saw she did a celebrity softball game, and they raised like the first year like $500,000, and the next year they're $4 million or something like that. I was like, yo, Connie, I saw you did. Yeah, I literally hit her up, and I don't know, you don't know them, but worst thing they're gonna do is say no, and then hang up or block you or whatever the case is. Oh well, big deal, you move on.
Yeah.
But that rarely happens. You'd be surprised how many people really just, you have a conversation, they'll really put game. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. Where somebody was like, I ain't giving you nothing. Yeah. And then they like when you call them or really ask them, they give you game. So if I didn't know something, I'm gonna find somebody who does, and I'm gonna ask them. That's how I did it.
So what was the hardest part of like putting the whole thing together?
Man, the hardest part was getting these people to listen when we was there.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part, is them not listening. And that was my fault because I didn't set the tone. I should have set the tone from the get-go. I should have had the mic from the get-go and really kind of establish myself or let it be known.
Yeah, I thought you did. All right, so you have another organization about single fathers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me about that one.
Single Fathers United basically is a community created for all fathers who are just trying to be active in their children's lives. And me going through a lot personally with my son, I learned that the system doesn't favor fathers, and there's a lot of flaws, and we don't really have any education as a father, an unmarried father, on what the steps are to ensure that you have rights and that you are able to see your child. So it's just a lot of things that we're trying to do when it comes to education, and then possibly in the future we even want to change laws, because right now in Florida and a couple other states, if you are not married, you don't have any rights at all as a father. You have no legal say when it comes to visitation, the well-being of the child, like nothing. You have no legal rights, no legal standing whatsoever if you were not married in Florida. You will have to be either placed on child support, which is bogus, that the only way you have rights is if you're on child support, or you have to go through the system and establish rights and pay God knows how much money to have rights, in court and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that, that people don't know about, especially fathers, and we're just trying to educate.
That is one thing that I hear a lot of rappers rapping about in their music, like how unfair the court system is to dads.
Yeah, and a lot of times they just don't have the education on what steps to take. Like, you just got somebody pregnant and they're being bitter, because there are a lot of, unfortunately, baby mothers that are bitter, and they just play games with the child or use the child as a weapon, and you don't know what to do. And now you're like, damn, I have a whole kid out there, and the mom just shows uses the kid as a weapon and causes real life psychological abuse that is torturing when you dangle somebody you care about in front of them, and you just use that as a weapon. You can see them whenever I feel like it. A lot of men don't want to go through that type of psychological abuse, so they just quit and they just stop searching for the kid, and then they go start a family elsewhere. And then people complain and say, how is this person such a terrible father to the real kids but a great stepfather? Well, obviously it's not that person that's a bad father. Obviously there was another factor that made that person not be a good father to their own kid. And that's the side that nobody talks about.
Do you feel like every father could be a good father?
I don't want to say nothing's absolute, but I tell you this, the stigma is wrong. There are more fathers that do want to be in their children's life than fathers who are deadbeats and don't care about their kids. So I believe that the stigma is wrong. I think there are a lot more fathers that really do want to be in their life. That fathers are deadbeats, that's a very small percentage. From all the fathers I talked to, a lot of these were forced to be deadbeats because they didn't want to deal with the psychological abuse. And it's unfair for someone to say, no, you should fight for your kids and you should do this and you should do all that, and they've never been in that position to have that type of psychological abuse. Then it's unfair for somebody to really tell a father that he has to fight for the kid, spend all his money and time and go through all that. That's not right. I mean, I fought for mine. I'm gonna always fight, but not everyone can endure that type of abuse, and it's serious pain.
All right, so what do you mean by fight? Like, I don't know if you want to get too personal, but like, what was like the fight that you had?
No, fighting in court, basically. Positioning yourself to tell the judge, you know, these strangers that never met you or your child, that you deserve to be in your child's life. You know, that's all it is. You go to court and then you got to tell the judge why you deserve to be in a child's life and what you want. You know, if you go in there in Florida and other states and you say, hey, I want 50-50, you know, things are becoming more lenient where fathers are getting right slowly, or courts are being more open to it. But that's what we should be doing, is going there and getting 50-50. And then everyone covers their own expenses. The child's with you, you're responsible for the expenses. The child's with the mom, they're responsible for their expenses. Mothers don't like 50-50 because they don't get child support, you know. So, and then the courts then get certain things. So it's just a lot of things that take place, and we just want to educate. I'm doing a film that's going to educate. It's a documentary. It's called The War on Dads. So that's something I've been working on, and we're following my story and some other fathers that went through the system. And that's going to be very educational. And yeah, so look out for that.
All right, so do you think that a woman can raise a man, like, by herself?
I mean, it's happened. We've seen outstanding men be raised by just a mother. So it could happen. It absolutely can happen. Should it happen? No, because statistically it shows that the child is better when they have both parents. You know, there's some characteristics and stuff that they'll learn from the father that they can't get from the mother. You know, and everyone that I spoke to that had a mother and didn't have a father, they all tell you the same thing. You get a certain age where the child doesn't listen to the mom like that, and they're like, you can't teach me how to be a man. And then who do they look up to? They start looking up to the people in the streets. They start looking up to the rappers or the ballers and other people, because they don't have no father figure.
Yeah, because I was on that wave too, where at first I thought that, oh, you know, like, a woman is like equipped to, you know, raise all her kids by herself. But like, as I started like slowly aging, I started realizing the importance of having a dad, you know.
Yeah.
And in the streets, like, most dudes are raised without their dads.
Right. And when you look at the numbers, you're more likely to get into a life of crime. You're more likely to get into prostitution. You're more likely to commit murder, rape, stealing. You're more likely to drop out. It's just the biggest common denominator between all the evils and messed up things of the world is the lack of a fatherhood presence.
And I feel like women are praised when they're single, and single mothers, like, they're held higher regards towards them, you know.
More than that, they are incentivized by the government to break free from the home, because now if you have the father there, you don't get all the benefits. You don't get the Section 8, you don't get the food stamps and the child support and all this extra government assistance. So now they're being incentivized to kind of break free and be a single mother.
But do you feel like that's worth it though? Because let's say like you're like 35 or 40 and you just like break up with your man or whatever that you have a kid with. So it's like, yeah, you get all this stuff, but then, you know, you're an older woman, so it's like kind of harder for you to, like, you know, the dating game is like not really in your favor. You get me?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a pool. Then there's another list of men a certain age that they can go after, and there's always. Yeah. I think there's always somebody for somebody. Like, everyone got somebody out there for them. That's how I feel, regardless of the age or what they look like, how many kids. Even if you're a terrible person, got 20 different baby daddies, I'm sure there's another person with 20 different baby mamas that probably could fit you just right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a person for everyone, is how I feel.
All right, so is it only you in that organization, or is it, like, that started it, or did you start with like a group?
No, it was just me that started it, and kind of just built that online community. It started with just like frustration, realizing like, yo, I didn't do nothing wrong. My record's clean. I got all this stuff, and I'm having a hard time just being a dad, like, legally, you know. And then when I realized, like, yo, there's a whole community of fathers that were divorced or, you know, just had a child out of wedlock, and they're all having issues trying to be there, and, you know, mothers are keeping kids away.
Did you feel like you were ready when you had a kid?
I think I was, yeah. I was, because I wasn't, my son wasn't. He was planned. It wasn't like he was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I was always ready. I always wanted to be a young father. So I was trying to have a kid at like 18, 19, and found out it wasn't mine. So.
Oh damn.
So it was. So I was always trying to be a young father because my father was older, a lot older. So it's not like I could play ball with him or do certain things. So I was like, I want to make sure when I have a kid, I'm younger, so I can do certain things like certain activities and stuff.
All right. So how does your son see you like doing all this stuff that you're doing? Is he like aware of it, or is he?
Yeah. No, he's super aware of it, and I take him to my meetings. I've always taken him to meetings, and he's seen me stay up super late, like working on this. And sometimes it's sad because he'd be like, Dad, you're working so much, man. Spend time with me. And I'm like, I start feeling bad. I'm like, all right, let me close the computer. I got to at least,
That's what you're fighting for, right?
Right, exactly. But he also understands too. And it's to the point where like, sometimes he'll help me out with certain stuff. Like he'll help me with certain things. Like I had him cropping people out on Photoshop to make flyers. Bro. Yeah, so like he was like learning those he was learning, and so I'll have him sometimes. I try to get him to type stuff for me or whatever, just get him involved because we spend more time and he still learns and stuff like that. But yeah, he sees all of that, and he sees. I don't know if he don't really care like that, I think when he gets older or when he's in school and then the kids in school are like talking about Spot on Gotham or so and so, and he's like, yeah, I met Spot on Gotham. I got pictures with all these people. I think that's when it's like he'll care like that. But now he really don't care about none of these people. He don't care who they are. He just.
You got a lot of YouTubers there. He's like, you didn't know any of the YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah, he does know some of the YouTubers. I actually invited some people off of him, like who he told me to invite.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was trying to invite some Disney stars that he watches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to get them to really like show out. Like, look, I brought your favorite, star here.
No, yeah.
Next time we'll bring someone.
So, what do you have planned next? Like, what's next in the future?
We got a lot of stuff cooking right now. We got the documentary for single fathers, The War on Dads is what it's called. We got a web series called The Story of Lil Young. That's like a musical web series that I wrote and producing, right? Producing. And then, man, I'm still debating on what actual event I want to do. I might do something in North Carolina. I might do something here. I know a couple people want to do something for Labor Day. And, man, the last event didn't really go how I wanted it to go. I wanted to present awards. I wanted to finish the rap cypher. I wanted to finish the game. And we didn't have enough time. We had to cut the event short. We didn't cut it short. We were timed at, we clocked out at exactly 10.
I feel like it helped a lot of people because I did notice a lot of people networking. Like during that time where it was like kind of pretty much pandemonium, I saw everyone just talking like, oh, like, yo, I'm this.
Right.
I saw people like just
taking
like,
photos and
their business cards and stuff.
And that's what I wanted. Ultimately, I wanted a safe environment where, it was a private event. We didn't really sell like tickets like that. It was no ticket sales. It was just invitation only, RSVP. You were the entourage or the press or whoever, and you got in there. And I wanted it to be a place where everyone felt safe. Like the only people that were there was like the entourage and sponsors and celebrities, and you know what I mean? Like that's it. Family and friends. Like everyone kind of knew each other in a sense. So we were like, it was safe. Everyone felt good. That's why everyone was mingling among each other. That was one thing I was really proud of. Like, hey, everyone still had fun and we all did like our thing with network. I was just upset that I was upset that I didn't get to set the tone. Like I should have set the tone from the beginning. When everybody got dressed, I should have made them all go into the locker room, and had a little speech in the back and probably set the tone there and probably tell them, hey, this is what we're doing and this is why we're here. Maybe even have a little prayer or something like that, and then for halftime it would have been a little bit more
like a pep talk.
Yeah, like a little pep talk, and then would have known because what it was is when we did the cipher, it's a family event. It was streamed online, pay-per-view online, and it's a family event. So I had a lot of sponsors there and foundations, and it's supposed to be family friendly. We didn't want no cussing. We didn't want no crazy vulgar, bars. And during halftime, one of the guys, Pootie, grabbed the mic and started freestyling or whatever, started snapping on there, and then he passed it to Rico Cartel, and he started snapping, and then it started getting crazy because they were all just vulgar and all kind of stuff. And then at that point, I was like, all right, now it's getting out of hand. But that was my fault for not setting the tone and letting them know.
You can't get too mad because
it was off the dome, and yo, they were low key snapping, like they were having fun. It was kind of fun, so I didn't want to be the party pooper. Yeah. But we still had a certain time to meet, and at the end of the day, I can't. It's not even about them. It's about the purpose of the event. And I had foundations there, like I had Bullets for Life, you know, who lost, like somebody that just lost their child, like literally less than a month.
Yeah, she gave me one of the flyers.
Yeah, to shooting, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want the structure of the event to like, all right, you freestyling, but what are you telling me? All you doing is talking about killing. All you doing is rapping about girls and degrading them. Like if you're freestyling and those are the only type of bars you can ever come up with is swear words and killing and degrading women, then you need to do a better job. You need to be a better rapper. Like you got to expand your vocabulary and you got to expand your topic because you're literally just talking about the same thing. So when I said that, you know, when I snapped, I got mad that everybody was cussing in there, and I just finally just lost it.
All I heard was, guys, remember this is a family event.
Yo, I snapped. I was like, hey, y'all cussing? No, cut it off. Cut the music, because y'all over here cussing. My jit here. Yeah. Y'all over here swaying. This is a family event. And then one of the guys, I think VVS Kane, was like, what? No cussing. And then when he said that, I was like, what? You can't rap without cussing? You better talk to my dog, Keith Wallace. And Keith Wallace is there. You know, Keith Wallace, big dude, girls. And he got bars. And when he said that, I know Pootie and a couple people were like, oh, yeah, we know him. We know who he is. And he's like, I'll eat anybody in here. And that just escalated the whole thing. Because then it got serious, you know, and Arsenal was there, you know, and he was going to rap too.
Do you ever watch like battle rap or something?
Oh yeah, I love battle rap, man. I love battle rap, and that's why I said that when I was like, yo, well, you can't rap without cussing, then you better get some lessons from Keith Wallace, because Keith was there, D1, who got bars too, like, and A-Star, like, they kind of all rap and got bars, and they don't have to cuss, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to degrade and talk about killing all the time. They can switch it up, you know. And honestly, if any of them really wanted, yo, I'll put my money on Keith, D1, and me to eat up any of those rappers over there with no cussing in a family event. Minus Arsenal, because Arsenal is a GOAT. You can't. That's what he does.
And you can take him without cussing. Nothing.
Yeah, for sure. I know Keith would eat 99% of the rappers there alone. Keith would just destroy them. And Keith's a real dude who got a real background. He got the stripes to tell you don't rap about this or don't do this, because he was in there. He's been in the game. Mm-hmm. You know, he got the resume.
Which leagues did you like to watch the most?
It don't even matter. I like the ones where I can hear the thing, like the structure and organization. I mean, Smack is like the old school legendary one. Smack is good, but they have a lot of other good leagues, man.
The one I would watch all the time was King of the Dot.
Oh yeah, King of the Dot was good too. King of the Dot was good. There's a lot of good ones, man.
Who was your favorite rapper? Like your battle rapper? Arsenal?
I like Arsenal a lot, man. But you know who I just got on to this guy, and I think he's probably my favorite one right now, the Bill Collector. You ever heard of him? Yo, this guy cracks me up, man. That dude funny. Sure. Yes, and I love a battle rap where you making me laugh and you saying the punchlines and you going in. Like, if you making people laugh, you remember Sirius Jones used to make people laugh in his
Did you ever like Disaster?
Oh yeah, Disaster. He's nice too.
I liked him because like he had like crazy bars.
Yeah.
Because I listened to mostly like the lyrics.
Yeah. There's another dude on White Boy who's really good too, and he has like a funny parody like battle rap, Mr. Nice Guy rap, where he's like, "You're so nice," you did, like he's just rapping on how nice he is.
I think I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
he's nice too. He's nice. But I like the Bill Collector. If you ain't see the Bill Collector versus the Hitman, oh my God, you gotta watch that, because
check him out.
You crack up. I'm trying to tell you, he snapped.
Why didn't you do like a battle rap event? Like,
I was just
no cussing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was trying to get to see who will be involved. I know Keith is down, and D1. A couple people will probably be down, but a lot of times, I don't know. I gotta see, cause I was really thinking about doing a battle rap event, man. Or
is a sign.
Right, or at least do like where everybody has their like a verses. You know, we can spit a verse and we can kind of, I don't know.
I seen that on TikTok. Like they say something and then the next person goes, and it's like it's like a. Alright, so basically you say something and then they gotta get this and it rhymes, right? And then you say something that rhymes with that. It's like, oh no, it's not a pot, it's a, and then you say kettle, and then you say, oh, I don't want to stay with her. I want to settle.
Mm.
You feel me? Like,
yeah.
let's like go off on each other.
Gotcha.
So it's like
that's dope.
Evolved battle rap type.
Yeah, no, that's good, and that's a good way to practice and really, yeah, you gotta really be a fast thinker. And,
yeah, you gotta know what they're saying
yeah.
as well as think of what you gotta say next.
And yeah, if you're a rapper or rhymer, you kind of know what they're gonna say. You feel the flow, and you know what rhymes with what and what fits.
There was some I was like, what is it? I couldn't guess, but they got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets pretty tricky.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Did you ever want to be a battle rapper?
I did at one point. I did, and you know what? I battled somebody in college before.
For real?
Yeah, and I ate him up too.
You were never scared to like just go up to someone and just like start battling rapping?
Nah, I didn't care at that point. In college, I didn't care. Before, probably I was a little more shy, but once after high school, kind of broke out of my shell, like during my senior year, whatever, kind of breaking out of my shell. And in college, I was battling. I was rap battling. Yeah, so I'm good with that. I'll do that again.
I remember what we were talking about before, like it cut out. I was gonna ask you what's like the best way to network with like artists or people in general.
Oh man, just be yourself. Tell them who you are, what you do, and how you can benefit them. You know, that's what people want to know all the time when you talk to them. First, who are you? What you gonna do for me? And you start off, yo, I'm so and so. I done this, and that. They're okay, all right. Now you got a little respect. You know, you're not just a bum dude. Like you got a resume, and then you answer the second part by telling them, yo, we could do this and it'll benefit you like that. Now they're like, okay, it makes sense. If it makes sense, they're gonna do it. Sometimes it makes sense and they still don't do it. That's because, I don't know, their team.
So how much more like the music stuff do you see yourself doing? Like you feel like you're kind of stepping back from the music, or are you going like full force?
No, I'm going in. Yeah, I feel like I'm going in at this point. Like all the way in, because I got artists already and I'm almost done with the first part of the series, the web series, and I think the web series is what's going to kind of bring out the little young character, you know, the rap side, the music side, the creativity, because a lot of times people don't understand, like, well, first of all, people are going to see how creative I am when it comes to music and concepts. Like that's something that I've always had pride in, is my creativity and my level of thinking. It's unmatched. A lot of people can't come up with what I come up with. So I feel like my creativity is gonna be shown, and I think people are gonna respect it. The right ones are gonna respect it and cling to it. You know, I don't expect it or care if it hits the masses on that level, because my target audience or the people that I like or I'm doing it for, in a sense, are the ones that are underground in this specific market. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to listen to underground music. Like I like Locksmith. You know what I'm saying? And B.O.B. who's underground now. But some of these people.
Is he underground?
Now he is.
You got something with Paramore.
Yeah, no, he's been on the charts, but since he started rapping about real stuff, he kind of went underground.
About the earth.
Yeah, and all that other stuff. But yeah, I like to listen to a lot of underground people. So the market. If I hit like the Locksmith fan base and the Keith Wallace, the people on that, I'm good with that. I don't care for the majority of the people. Majority of people probably might not even understand the stuff that I'm saying or doing. You know. I
was gonna ask, as you see things moving, do you see like a decline in the creative part, and see more you're more business focused? Like, do you feel like the creative part is like dwindling? Like,
for me personally, like in my, or in the industry?
For what you're doing?
No, for me, the creative part has to stay at the top of the top, because that's what separates us from anyone else. Like, we're launching a label all under the same Above 500 umbrella, and off-rip, our label is different because we don't, for one, we ain't cussing in our songs. So, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of market it to anybody, like schools, whoever. And then it's our concepts and what we're doing. Like, we're talking about real stuff. So I don't know if there's any other label that is dedicated to just empowering people through the music. Like, they're strict. We're like, hey, you can't rap about killing each other, or you can't rap about selling drugs to each other or degrading women in a way that you're embracing it. If you're just rapping about your life and what you've done, that's fine. That's cool. You're just talking about your life. But it's not gonna be a point where
You're like glorifying.
Yeah, you're not glorifying it. You're not gonna glorify it because anything that we put out in the content that we put out as a label as a whole has to have a positive meaning or positive response to it. If it's negative music, negative energy that we're putting out, we ain't gonna do it. We're not with that.
No, that sounds good. So let's say, what advice do you have for someone that's like trying to throw a show, trying to do what you're doing? Like, what would you tell them to get started doing?
Nah, I mean, I would say to get a good team, get a good team of people around you, the ones that believe in you, that they're self-sufficient, and just stay in communication. That's it. But I think that there's like at this point, everything is out there. All the resources are out there. If anybody wants to do anything, the only thing that's holding them back is themselves. Like, you don't have to have a degree at this point. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or be a genius to do something. If you have an idea, you're gonna figure out how to put that idea together. Like, just go get it. Go look it up. Read a book. Look it up online. But there's really nothing holding anyone back. Keep a positive mindset. Believe that you could achieve it. And then when you put everything down on paper, present it to people with the positive mindset, knowing that you see its potential, so they can see the potential and probably want to be involved,
Yeah, for sure. You have anyone you want to shout out?
I want to shout out everybody who always supported our organization. I want to shout out everyone who came out to the Untitled Chapter and like the culture. It was fun. I definitely want to do it again. Black Market Luxury was one of our sponsors. Noble, another sponsor. Talithia put in work. Courtney, Aaliyah, Eugenia, Carice, Melissa, Deanna, my whole team, they put in work and they made it happen. Really, I couldn't do it without them. So I put them, up there. And of course, special thanks to Chopper for letting us use his name and his image, and Mama Chopper for being so wonderful with it. So we're gonna do it again for sure.
Yeah. And where can they find you at?
Above 500. Everything is above 500, man. If you go to above500.com or above500.org or just Twitter above 500, Instagram, Snapchat, everything is above 500. That's the foundation. If you're looking for me personally, you can find me Brawley's Conscious on Instagram, or you can just go to the above 500 page. I'm in there somewhere. You'll find me. If you really wanted to find me, reach out to me. You'll do it. You'll be able to find it.
Alright, for sure. So it's been 6 feet with the one and only Brawley's Conscious.
Yeah.